2401 parking structure, section 1 boy.
Henry 8, Henry 9, respond to gate 437 Bravo for your dignitary detail. 3K911 unattended 400 lower level near carousel 4 black bag. GTA in progress 401 parking structure section 4 boy.
Responding to 401 parking structure, section 1 boy.
415 passenger onboard aircraft.
Control 2 Franklin en route.
44 suspects, is female, Hispanic, 28 years of age, blue jeans, no further.
Control 5 Frank 401 is en route.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Private Officer Beat, brought to you today by Private Officer International, a security and law enforcement association. I'm your host today, Rick McCann, founder and CEO of that association, and we're glad to have you, our friends, our neighbors, our members, our followers, with us today. And we've got some great information we're going to share with you in this edition of the Private Officer Beat. We also like to thank our sponsor, of course, Body Armor USA. If you need protection, and of course you do, everybody should be wearing body armor these days. If you are a correction officer, a law enforcement officer, private security, whatever it might be, you need to make sure you have a vest. We are seeing so much gun activity in the last couple of years, especially this year. In the last 6 weeks, there's been more than 900 armed confrontations with private security. So, check out our friends over at BodyArmorUSA.com. We've got what it takes to protect you. Be sure to contact them today, and just for doing that, they're going to give you a discount on your purchases. BodyArmorUSA.com. We've got what it takes to protect you. Well, today we've got some really interesting information for you. We're going to be talking about some of the upcoming events, some of the local news, and a whole bunch of other things during this edition of the Private Officer Beat. We are really excited about our new board advisory members, our advisory board members. This year we've taken on 4 new members, and we are really appreciative of them. We had our first meeting last week, and our advisory board helps to steer our association aspect of the organization. They help to guide us to how we can better do things, how we can get more information out there, potential new member benefits or services. They also are a sounding board to me on what's happening in different parts of the country, and of course we use them a lot to be our liaison out into certain neighborhoods and states. We can't be everywhere as much as we try to be, and so really we are using them to step forward and fill in for times like when we have a security person that might be injured, times when the media may need somebody locally to talk to about a certain situation or incident. We use them to coordinate activities that we're about to have, such as the memorial ride or other events in their area, and we're very grateful for them giving of their time and services. We've had the advisory board now for about 6 or 7 years, maybe a little bit longer. Again, I started out with just a couple of folks on the advisory board over the years, but really that's expanded because we've expanded so much that we've needed to have those extra folks in different neighborhoods, different states, to be able to assist us in everything that's going on where we're not able to get to. And so we really, really appreciate everything that those folks do. So I want to take a moment here to kind of go over some of the things that our advisory board does, as well as to kind of introduce them. So our new advisory board members this year, they serve a one-year appointment, is Doug Riggins. Doug is a longtime professional, security professional, asset manager in Nashville, Tennessee. We're very happy to have him. He's also involved in As Is as well. Corey Harsted is out in Des Moines, Iowa. He's the owner of a security company there. Again, another professional who we're really happy to have aboard. Donnie Beam is the owner of a security company and a new Armortology owner as well, down in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Kyle Perot is in Jacksonville, Florida. Again, a long-time law enforcement and security professional. He's a director of training and also a part-time police officer in Florida, so we're very happy to have him. We have returning this year from Nashville, Tennessee, Mike Thornhill, the director and security chief at Cumberland University. Again, somebody who's been in the industry for dozens of years. We really appreciate all that Mike does in the Middle Tennessee area, as well as his network ability that has really helped us through the years. Rick Rodriguez is a federal protection officer, and we're really happy to have him, as well as being an instructor and a law enforcement and security professional. He also is one of our instructors, so we're always happy to have him. He's down in Roanoke, Virginia. Mark Pennington is the director of hospital security out in Springdale, Arkansas, and Dan Sinisi is an instructor, company owner, and longtime security, public safety professional from Connecticut, my home state. So we're very happy to have him on board as well. Again, all of these guys are great people. They have great credentials, tons of experience, and we're going to put them to use this year. We're going to use their resources, their experience, their knowledge, and we're just really excited about the team that we have this year on the board. Now, we do have another member over in Hawaii that's also on the board, but I didn't want to mention him because he may be retiring or may have taken the year off. We still need to connect to confirm that information. But the group that we have this year is really going to benefit POI. It's going to benefit what we're doing in our growth, and I'm looking forward to it. I should also let you know that we have a lot of exciting things in the loop, in the hopper, in the upcoming weeks and months. We'll be talking about. We're already planning the 2017 Memorial Ride. Now, I'll be honest with you. This is not an easy task. This is not something that we can do overnight, and definitely not something we can do on our own. It takes every single one of you, every person out there, to be involved and to make it a success. We've been doing this for 7 or 8 years now, and each year I think, well, maybe we'll just cut it back. Maybe we just won't do it anymore because it takes a lot of time, a lot of resources, and it's not free. It costs money to drive to places. It costs money to stay at hotels. It costs money to be able to do this stuff, take away from my time and others, but it's something that I think is extremely important to do. So we're already working on the schedule for 2017. We're already talking to possible sponsors, getting our locations and schedule lined up. If you want to be involved in the memorial, If you want to be involved in sponsoring a memorial ride in your community, please send an email over here to the help desk, helpdesk@privateofficer.com. What's in it for you, you say? And a lot of people do ask, well, why should I do that? Why should I get involved? As a sponsor, you will get media recognition. You'll be involved in all of the press releases. You will have an ad on our website. You will be mentioned in all of our media interviews as a sponsor. And you'll also have a lot of community awareness, because this is something that's new, but a lot of folks, a lot of areas are now becoming familiar with it because we've been doing it for a number of years. Vitally important that you assist us to accomplish this goal with our memorial ride this year, because we're informing people, we're getting the word out to the dangers of the security field, the number of people injured and killed. We're educating folks, but more importantly, we are memorializing those men and women killed in the line of duty that wouldn't otherwise get that recognition. So if you want to donate, you can go online or email us at helpdesk@privateofficer.com. If you want to sponsor an event, you need to have a small location, could be a church, a school, an office, and financially assist us with being able to travel there and get some other community members involved, some other security and law enforcement companies involved. And again, once you send us an email, we'll contact you and further direct you and inform you as to what's necessary. It's not that much. It doesn't take much of your time, but I promise you it will be rewarding, and you will feel like, hey, this is a good thing for not only the community and our company, but also for the industry at whole. Again, please get involved, either donate or sponsor the memorial ride. Send an email, helpdesk@privateofficer.com. You can also call us Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at area code 704-831-8109. You're listening to the Private Officer Beat Radio, sponsored by Private Officer International, and today is the 13th day of February. It's halfway over, folks. Time is flying by. That's why it's so important not to sit back, not to just say, I'm not going to get involved, Every time we say we're going to do it next time, every time we put off today what we could be doing, we put it off until tomorrow, we could be doing it today. Every time we do that, we're just delaying, our involvement. And it's a necessary thing that if you're in the security, public safety, loss prevention, law enforcement industry, that you get involved with what we're doing for the industry today. Call us, send us an email if you'd like to be involved, if you want to be active in one of our committees, you want to get active in the legislative committee, the benevolent committee in response, whatever it might be. We've got a lot of things that you can do. Just contact us today and we'll get you going. In a little bit, we want to talk about some of the dangers that's going on for those of us who wear uniforms. We want to talk a little bit about why it doesn't matter what type of uniform or badge that you wear. We've talked about that and beat it to death sometimes, but it's reality, and it continues to spike, its ugly head, and it continues to cause injuries and deaths to our frontline personnel just because they are wearing a uniform or a badge. We want to also talk about, for a couple minutes, about some new services, our great new magazine, some positions that are open, and some other things happening here at Private Officer International, as well as Armor College. But first, we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we got a lot of information to talk about. And we're going to tell you about two great security personnel who saved a life this week. And they're not the only ones. Security personnel do this more frequently than you can think of. And we're coming right back to let you know what happened in Michigan earlier last week. Again, you're listening to the Private Officer Beat, and we'll be right back after these messages.
They say if you want a wish to come true, never tell anyone. But there is one wish that can make the difference between life and death. And this wish can only come true if you tell someone. Please, let your family know you want to be an organ donor.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over. When you see lights,
Best. Or reflectors.
please, give us some room. Slow down and move over. When you need us,
We've got your back.
you have ours.
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back? Please, slow down.
And move over.
All right, we are back here on the Private Officer Beat. Woo! I'm telling you, I am so proud of these two security officers. Two mall security officers from Great Lakes Crossing in Auburn Hills, Michigan. They've been identified this past week as heroes, because a call came in to the Auburn Hills Police and the Michigan State Troopers about a woman on the interstate who potentially was trying to commit suicide. She was running in and out of traffic, several near misses, and it was apparent that she was trying to kill herself. Now, police were on the way. They were going as fast as they can to get to the woman on Interstate 75. State Troopers, Auburn Hills Police, a number of agencies, all responding as quickly as they could. But as quick as they could would not have been timely enough to save this woman who was intent on ending her life from all the information that we have about the incident. Two mall security officers from Great Lakes Crossing Outlets saw what was happening, and they took it upon themselves to leave the property, get up on the interstate, block some traffic, chase the woman around, literally in and out of cars, risking their own life to save this woman. They tried to talk her down. They tried to reason with her. They tried everything they could while cars were still whizzing on by them. But it wasn't effective. And so what they did, Assistant Security Director Howard Petrowski and Security Officer Mike Smith literally picked up the woman and carried her to the side of the road and held her. She fought with them, according to police. She would not give up. She was screaming. She wanted to go back in traffic. and she said she wanted to die. These officers held on to her. They waited for backup to arrive. Police arrived. Medical personnel arrived. But these two officers, they risked their own life. They put their own lives in jeopardy needlessly. It wasn't their territory. It wasn't their jurisdiction. It wasn't their duty. And yet, they did it. They could have died right along with the woman. But thankfully, it all turned out okay. And both the woman and the security personnel are alive to talk about it today. The police chief said these security officers are heroes. And I have to tell you something. This is one of the most heroic things that I've seen any private or public officer do in a long time. Private security officers, they frequently are on the front line. They are frequently there long before police, long before fire, long before EMS. We see this time and time and time again. In fact, last year, more than 57 times that we know of, security officers saved a person's life either through CPR, first aid, where they rescued them from some situation that they were in. They put their own lives on the line to save somebody else. It could have all turned out different. Today, I could be telling you about two security personnel struck and killed by a tractor trailer or a car. And thankfully, I'm not. Many times, security personnel are there long before anybody else, but they don't get the recognition. The media will say, well, so-and-so was saved by police, the fire department, EMS, a nurse driving by, and the security officer is left in the dark, left behind. Not only the security officer, but the loss prevention agent, the private patrolman, the private police officer, the campus officer. And that's why Private Officer International exists. We are the voice of the front line, and we will continue to be the voice of the front line. We will continue to fight for what's due. Everyone deserves to be recognized for a job well done, but they definitely should be applauded for putting their life on the line, risking their own life unnecessarily. And private security and private police do it every single day. Every single day. So kudos to these officers. I've already contacted the mall. I've offered to drive up there myself personally, not send any of our liaisons or other personnel, but to do it myself, to drive to Auburn Hills, Michigan, and personally, I want to shake the hands of these men and give them a plaque and say, good job, job well done, thank you, because they deserve it. I wish that we could drive, I wish that I could drive or fly to every situation similar to this across the country. But it's impossible. And that's why we need you. That's why we need our chapter managers. That's why we need our advisory board people to be able to step into our shoes and to take care of these type of presentations, to take care of these situations so that people are recognized, so that people know that somebody's out there that appreciates them, that there's an organization called Private Officer International that's all about them, that is their voice, and that does appreciate all that they did, putting themselves in harm's way. And I ask you, each and every one of you listening today, whether you listen regularly or you just happen to be hanging around and thought you'd tune in today, whatever it might be, I ask that you get involved. Send us information about what's happening in your area. Let us know if there's somebody who needs to be recognized so that we can appropriately and quickly do that. Because that's one of the foundations. That's one of the building blocks to our organization. So great job to these officers. I can't wait to get up there and personally shake their hand. There's many more of you out there who deserve recognition, and trust me, every year during our award ceremony in April, we recognize as many folks as we can. And like I said, if you come across somebody who deserves that recognition, please send an email to helpdesk@privateofficer.com, helpdesk@privateofficer.com. Okay, a couple of other things happening here at Private Officer International. We recently added group sales as one of our newest avenues, methods of reaching small to mid-sized security companies who might want to include a large number of employees. This makes it more economical for you to have your employees under one group rate. You can have 10, 20, 50, 100 of your personnel under a group rate. Much more economical. They're going to receive all the same great benefits, services, and training discounts. And if your company has more than 100 employees, 500, 5,000, 500,000, I promise you, if you contact us today, 704-831-8109, or by email, helpdesk@privateofficer.com, we will make it attainable for you and economical enough for you to include those 500, 5,000, 50,000, 500,000, 5 million, whatever you have, we'll make it economical for you to include as many employees as possible. It's important to get everybody included because, you know, the membership package, the benefits, the certificate, it's a great recruitment tool. Getting out there trying to recruit people these days is not easy, especially for the low amount of pay that many security companies have to offer. But having something like this really is beneficial. And when you explain to the applicant or the current employee about all of the benefits, having all of the information available, having online training, all of the services that we do offer, though many people don't really use, we do make it available. It's a great tool to recruit and to retain employees. So no matter the size of your company, small or big or huge, call us today because this is an important and I think exciting advantage for your company to take advantage of to recruit or maintain and retain your employee. Other companies may not have this, and so you know, I think the group rate is really a very effective tool for you. One of the other things that we're doing, which I'm really, really excited about, I mean, I am so excited about this. We have been working on a magazine for the last few months, more like 6 months, I guess. But we have a brand new digital magazine coming out. We're putting the finishing touches on it. It'll be a combination magazine and a video magazine, which is even more exciting, where it's going to have articles in it written by your peers. It's going to have articles written by me and others on the staff, a lot of news. It's going to have a lot of different segments in it. We're going to have some video aspects to it, some of the breaking news stuff. just a whole lot of stuff that's really cool, and I'm really excited about it. Of course, it's going to be called the Private Officer Beat. What else would we call it? We can't call it, Jose's Beat. It wouldn't make sense. We can't call it the Fire Beat. That wouldn't make sense. So we're going to call it the Private Officer Beat. If you are a writer, you'd like to write about specific topics, whether that be firearms or officer safety or tactical gear, whatever it might be, send us a sampling of your writing and an email with your contact information, and we will connect with you and get you maybe to write a feature article or something else for one of our upcoming magazines. Again, be looking for this coming out. We're going to make a big announcement in a couple of weeks. Send you all an email. It'll be a big bulletin. We'll be talking about it every day thereafter. If you want to advertise in it, you can also do that. You can be one of our sponsors. You can receive a really nice banner ad in our magazine, which, like I said before many times, our newsletters and magazines, right now they receive about 3.5 million hits a year, about 300 to 400,000 hits a month, and our radio show, we have a lot of different products, newsletters, breaking news. If you advertise in our magazine right now, you'll be included in all of those formats. So contact us, helpdesk@privateofficer.com if you're interested in sponsoring this, or call us at 704-831-8109. Wow, we got a lot of stuff happening, and believe it or not, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot of other things happening that we're going to be talking to you about. We're offering some great new resources to companies. If you own a security company, if you have a security training school, we have resources that would be mind-blowing. You're not going to believe it, that we have available, and we're going to make available to you on a subscription rate that's very low and affordable. And we'll be breaking that out soon and letting you all know what's happening. Wow. A lot of stuff happening here at Private Officer International, and we're glad you're with us. We're going to take one more quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some positions that are open, some committees, and we're going to talk about the dangers of the uniform and how we can kind of avoid that, how we can be safe whether we're wearing a badge and uniform or civilian clothes. We'll be right back. Again, you're listening to the Private Officer Beat.
Every 40 seconds, someone around the world takes their own life. Every 13 minutes, someone in the U.S. commits suicide. While you were getting ready for work this morning, in the first hour of your day, as many as 5 people in the U.S. have killed themselves. By lunchtime, about 20 people in the U.S. have taken their own life. At the end of an 8-hour workday, about 40 people in the U.S. killed themselves. In a 24-hour period, as many as 111 people in the U.S. committed suicide.
All right, we're back, and wherever you are, you're still listening to the Private Officer Beat, and we are certainly glad that you are. We have several positions open in Virginia, Washington, D.C., Nashville, Tennessee, and Chattanooga, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Columbia, South Carolina. In all of those locations that I mentioned, we're currently hiring for instructors, both contract as well as staff. If you are currently a licensed instructor, whether that be regulatory for the state, or you're an NRA instructor, a first aid, a CPR instructor, or something in that gamut, please send your resume to helpdesk@privateofficer.com, helpdesk@privateofficer.com. We pay very well. We offer incentives as well as commission for those who bring in new business. So if you are interested in any of those positions, please contact us today, because again, some people are looking for full-time, some people are looking for part-time, and some people just want to be on call, and we have all of those positions available. One of the other things that we have done on and off for the last 13, 14 years is that we have conducted seminars throughout the country and training for companies, both on a sponsored basis, which means that a company pays a flat fee to train a set number of employees or others, or invite other folks from other companies in. And we also train on a registration basis where that company will sponsor it, but we have to market, and then we collect the money from those who register, whoever those might be. We currently are, again, expanding that program where we're going to offer some incentives to folks who help to sponsor. Normally, we do offer 2 or 3 seats for the company so that they can have their key personnel participate free of charge. But one of the other things that we're doing is we will offer commission to those who want to open up their office or school, and we'll market, we'll get people in there, and then we'll pay you a commission. Again, if you're interested in getting more information about that, just send us an email, helpdesk@privateofficer.com, and we'll be glad to get that out. A lot of other things happening. We're really kind of running out of time today, but be sure that you stay on top of our news. Get our newsletters if you don't already. Go to our website, privateofficer.com. Sign up for that newsletter today. I guarantee you it's informative, lots of good news. You'll also see all the training that's happening across the country, and you'll be able to participate in other things that's happening. It's just it's one of those things that you get for free that really has a lot of value to it. All right, well, today I want to talk for just a couple of minutes about dangers in uniform. We all know, especially those of us who've been in this business, whether it be security or law enforcement, for any length of time, that it's dangerous, that it's gotten more dangerous than ever before. Recently, within the last 2 weeks, in Denver, Colorado, a rapid transit security officer, a contract security officer for the Denver Rapid Transit Authority, the commuter train there, was giving directions to two ladies actually, and all of a sudden, out of his blind side, a man walked up without warning, without saying anything, without any other interaction, and shot the security officer twice, once in the head and once in the neck, immediately killing him. There was no provocation. He had no other interaction with this guy. He didn't know him from Adam. And out of the blue, gunfire erupted. A few days ago, a security officer in Nevada was sitting in his patrol car, marked patrol car. I don't know if he was doing a report or just sitting there watching his client, and out of the blue, his window was down. A man walked up to him and pepper sprayed him. No interaction, no warning, no other reason for this attack other than craziness. Also within the last 2 weeks, in Florida, a security officer, again, sitting in his marked patrol car in an apartment complex, and all of a sudden, gunfire erupted, and someone began shooting at his patrol car. He was able to get out, return fire. Nobody was hit, nobody arrested, but nothing happened. Nothing precluded this. There was no forewarning. It was just a matter of fact that he was wearing a uniform, a badge. He was a target. We've seen this last year in Dallas. We've seen it in Louisiana. We've seen it across the country. Last year in Alabama, a security officer was shot and killed for no other reason other than he had a police-style uniform. The suspect apprehended and arrested in Denver, who shot and killed the RTD transit officer, a Muslim extremist, he said to police, these were his words, "I wanted to kill any police officer or anyone in uniform. I didn't care. He was a security guard. I don't care. Big deal. I wanted to kill the person wearing that uniform, the person of authority." The same thing happened in Alabama. He wanted to shoot and kill somebody who was in an authoritative uniform, wearing a badge. Whether it be a cop, he didn't care. Gunfire erupted in Dallas just after the shooting of the officers, drive-by shooting of a security officer working a construction site. He was in uniform, out walking around. He came under gunfire, received a number of rounds, didn't get hit, thankfully. They never caught that suspect. This is not an occasional thing, folks. This is happening more and more and more and more. Again, this past week, in Cleveland, Ohio, armored car security officer got out to maintain a ATM. He saw a uniformed security officer walking nearby. He thought nothing of it. All of a sudden, the uniformed security officer was on top of him, gun to his head, robbing him. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who is out to get you. If you wear a uniform, if you wear a badge, you're going to come under attack. We've seen this time and time again. Several years ago in Phoenix, Arizona, a security officer in uniform riding his bike to work was attacked for no reason other than he was wearing a uniform. Right now, I will clue you in on some intel from Homeland Security. Right now, federal authorities know that because of the Donald Trump immigration restrictions, that there are some extremists, both illegal immigrants, gangs, and sympathizers that are out to harm law enforcement. We've had the threat, high-profile, confirmed threats for several years that there's going to be imminent attacks on people in uniform, not only law enforcement but security, and that continues to happen. Last year, a Philadelphia police officer just driving down the street, a man ran up to him, shot him several times, killed him. Again, in Philadelphia, another police officer sitting at a red light, shot. There's no rhyme or reason to the attacks. I'm telling you today, if you wear a uniform, if you wear a badge, you are acceptable. You are more than likely, there's going to be a bigger chance than ever today that you're going to come under attack. Let me tell you about another form of attack, and that's food contamination. Every single day for years, several years, but more over the last year, we're seeing restaurant employees refusing to serve law enforcement and even armed security, not allowing them in the restaurant, not serving them. One of our members down in Tampa, Florida area recently had that experience. The restaurant would not serve him because he was in uniform and carrying a gun. Food contamination is happening at restaurants and drive-thrus. Officers' food being contaminated. It's a serious offense. It can be a federal offense to tamper with food, but they don't care. They're doing it anyways. Me personally, if I'm in uniform, and if I were working in a position where I had to be in uniform every day, I would not eat at any restaurant where I could not see them making my food. I will tell you that the best place to go, one of the best places to go, is the Firehouse Subs. And that's not, I'm not trying to market Firehouse Subs, but they were founded by true firemen from Jacksonville, Florida. They understand about serving public safety. All of their stores are franchises. They all serve public safety. And as a firefighter, EMT, paramedic, and law enforcement officer, I go to Firehouse. I can see them prepare my food in front of me. I know what's there. I know what's on it. And I know that 99.9% of the time they're not going to play with it. They're not going to fool with it. They're not going to contaminate it because they support their public safety. Go to places like Subway. Go to places that you can see them prepare your sandwich in front of you. If you have a local neighborhood place that you like to go there. There was a time when restaurants gave free food to officers, public or private, in uniform. There were times when you could trust any eatery to serve you food and not contaminate it. But these days, you have to be very cautious, and your places to eat are very limited. And again, I personally would not eat in uniform at any restaurant that I could not see them make the food. It's a terrible time that you can't even do your job. You can't even wear a uniform. You can't be a person of authority without being under attack physically, having your food under attack, and unfortunately, we're even hearing families under attack. Police officer families, their own children have been attacked at school because their parents are law enforcement, because they wear a badge, because they wear a uniform. Trust me when I tell you that if you're wearing a uniform or a badge or a gun, you are a target, day or night, on duty or off duty. There are so many dangers these days in uniform, so many dangers that we cannot even comprehend. We cannot even think about it. But unfortunately, they are real and they are there, and they're not going away anytime soon. In fact, they're getting worse. I remember back in the day when police officers were attacked, firebombed stations, firebombed police cars, when it was a common occurrence. You had to look under your car. You had to look to make sure there was no bomb. You had to be suspicious of every garbage container near the police headquarters. You had to be suspicious of every person walking by you. Well, we're in that environment again. And it's so important that you understand as a person in uniform. And I'm going to tell you one other tragedy. You don't even have to be a police officer or a security officer. We're having firefighters under attack. We're having paramedics under attack because they wear similar uniforms. It's a tragic tragedy. I'm telling you, it's something. I don't even think it was like this in the 60s and 70s with the Black Panthers who bombed police stations and cars and shot up police officers' homes. But we're definitely living in a day and time when you can trust no one. You can trust nothing. you have to use 1,000% officer assessment and officer awareness at all times, on duty and off duty. Dangers in the uniform is real for everyone who wears one. Doesn't matter what the job title is. It doesn't matter the position. It doesn't matter the location. You could be in small town USA or big New York City, Chicago, LA. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you be well aware of your surroundings. That's all for this edition of the Private Officer Beat. We're so glad that you've joined us today. We hope that you stay safe. Use an abundance of caution and care every day, no matter where you are. Don't let your guard down. Until the next time, be safe, be blessed, and we'll see you right back here on the radio.